Well, thank God you're here. The thing is, there's some weird creature in the house. It's trying to kill me. But if I keep this sacred candle lit, then everything's going to be okay. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of a late night screen review. This week, we're looking at the BoogeyMan.
I don't see anything.
Okay, monster check complete. It's been around forever. Hidden. In the dark. It's like all those spooky monsters you think are hiding under your bed. It's not real.
So this past week saw the release of the BoogeyMan film, directed by Rob Savage and based on a small short story by the one and only Stephen King, and is currently released at all major cinemas. So what's the story about? Well, the BoogeyMan tells the story of the Harper family. So there's the older daughter by the name of Sadie, who's like a high school student, and then her younger sister Sawyer, who's like a lot younger than her, and their dad. They're just getting over the death of the mother of the household. She died in a car accident, and the dad is a kind of therapist, so he has obviously people that need help come to his house. He's got like a little office in his house, and that's how they make their living. Obviously the kids are struggling with the loss, the dad's struggling, but they're all kind of doing it on their own sort of thing, so it's that kind of setup. And then what happens is a stranger comes in from the street without an appointment to visit the doctor and to tell him a story of this creature that has destroyed his life. After doing this and relaying that information and showing him some very crude drawings, he actually kills himself in the Sawyer house. And wouldn't you know it, a short time after that, there's a certain creature in a certain cupboard, in a certain bedroom, ready to make its appearance known. And I was about to say hilarity ensues, but horror ensues. So, what did I think of this movie? So, I went to the kind of, I guess, the largest Cineplex in my kind of local area, the Derby City Showcase Deluxe Cinema. The only tickets I could get were the kind of Director's Hall, and if you don't know the Director's Hall, it's like it's the posher seating, screening rooms. You have like the leather sofas, and you have the little swivel tables, and you can put all your stuff on, and this, that, and the other. So that costs a lot. That cost a pretty penny. But you know, happy to do it once in a while, just for you guys out there. But yeah, no, so it was a really comfortable experience. It was a really nice experience in terms of just like the kind of viewing of the movie. Saw some really interesting trailers that I'll probably end up talking about at some point soon. Thinking of doing like upcoming trailer videos, just as a kind of new spin on the kind of reviewing trailers. When the film first started, it kind of had a lot of tropes that we kind of get in recent kind of horror cinema. So very kind of like the Blumhouse effect, I like to call it. You know, you get the kind of creepy opening. There's the death of the monster springs out and kills the kid, or we're talking way back when and yesteryear, and the thing happened, the incident, and then we cut to the modern age and we've got a new family and the whole ritual starting again. So it kind of runs along that lines. This film runs along those kind of horror trope lines. There's lots of very quiet moments, and then the jump scare, in terms of kind of building atmosphere and stuff like that. The kind of look of the film, the acting and all that, it's all great. It's all fine. It's all perfectly reasonable, just like most, like I say, kind of Blumhouse-esque modern horrors are. Nothing really to talk about in terms of stylization or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. But Having said that, I was really invested in these characters. I did kind of, over the course of the first half an hour of the movie, the first third of the film, I really got into the kind of characters. I felt for their kind of loss. I was fairly well engaged with Sadie, who's basically the main character, the kind of teenage girl. And the way she was kind of coping with the loss, I thought was actually portrayed really well and really fairly realistically. But there were some interesting parts. For example, the creature itself, I thought had an interesting design. It kind of blurred the lines between supernatural and it actually being some sort of actual real creature that can be harmed and killed. This film kind of reminded me a little bit of Predator. If it bleeds, we can kill it. But at the same time, the creature does seem to have quite a lot of sort of supernatural abilities, and the way it consumes or murders its victims is very, very strange and weird. And we only see that right towards the end of the movie, which I like. And again, we don't see the creature clearly until right near the end of the movie, and it uses light and shadows and darkness as an interesting way to kind of showcase the monster right up until the final act, which I'm always a big fan of. It's that old school kind of way of making a creature feature. You don't see the full monster until the last act. And this film sticks with that, and it does it really well. And like I say, so the creature itself is fairly interesting, fairly unique. It also mimics people's voices, again, a lot like the kind of Predator. It kind of mimics the mother's voice in the cupboard and tries to entice the children, which is really interesting. But you could also argue that it's fairly inconsistent because obviously the creature itself is some sort of animal that can be killed, and it acts very animalistically when it's hunting its prey, but also has the intelligence to mimic voices and to draw the children in. So it's kind of a bit of both. If you like Blumhouse movies, you're going to love this one because I think it's probably up there in terms of those kinds of films. Oh, by the way, I'm not knocking Blumhouse films. I'm just saying they have a very kind of set formula. And this kind of would sit within all that, you know, the kind of Conjuring and the Mama film from a few years back. It feels very like within this vein. So if you like those kind of films, you're really going to enjoy this film. I also would say that while I don't mind those movies, that I don't love them, but I would still recommend this movie just because I think it has enough going for it. I think the characterizations are really good, and the kind of character arcs throughout the movie. I like the creature. I like some of the set pieces involving the lights and things like that involves the creature. So for me, there's just enough there. So it's not a high recommend, but it is a recommend. I think, you know, if you really want like a bit of a scare and you just kind of like creepy little movies, go watch The BoogeyMan, because it's in the cupboard. It could be in your cupboard at home. So there you go. That's my review of The BoogeyMan. It's all right. So we're going to continue with our reviews. We're going to probably try and get away with a couple of movie reviews a month, just because of money, really, if not for anything else. So we'll kind of have to be very selective of our reviews. I'm going to kind of look into maybe doing some reviews from Netflix or Shudder to kind of amp that up a bit and kind of fill that up a bit. We've got a couple of Jack Horrorhound's House of Horrors shorts coming, and then we've got 2 Jack Horrorhound House of Horrors full episodes ready to roll. So we'll be getting one at the end of June and then one at the end of July. Obviously, we'd like to make more content, but we can only do that with your help. If you would please like this video, watch it, obviously, watch all the other videos and subscribe. We really want to build an audience so that can allow us to make more content and make more episodes of the show. I've also got another idea for a really cool video game review that relates to kind of horror that I'd like to kind of showcase at some point in the future, but obviously that can only happen if we can kind of build our audience. So please do what you can out there, guys. We do have a Patreon. If you're willing and able to subscribe to Patreon and make a little donation, that would be incredible. If not, don't worry. Like I say, just keep being out there, guys. Just keep watching, and we'll see you really soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.